Hey there, Combo Cabal. Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing a Pioneer League. In front of you is a list that I've been working on, and it's based around the idea that Fae of Wishes is not a good card. I know it sucks to hear that. I don't mean to offend anyone. But in general, you never want to see Fae until you're already winning the game. So why are we playing three of it? Like every list plays three. We're going to cut them down to one. You still need a way to win the game, and that's Mastermind's Acquisition or Fae of Wishes. This week I played a lot of leagues this week, like 14 to 15 leagues with main deck approach. I think in general the Fae Masterminds gives you a little bit more flexibility. Um, but if you're going to cut down on Fae, what do you add? Well, what's the card you Fae for the most? Peer into the Abyss. So we're just going to play Peers into the main. I've tried it for a few leagues. Actually, I've tried it for a number of leagues, like 14 leagues. I did try some with no Fae, no Peer. Those didn't go very well. Um, but yeah, so we're running one Fae, one Mastermind's Acquisition. That's the big thing. I tried a lot of different lists this week, like some with Growth Spiral to speed up the deck. Those never really worked. The mana base just doesn't work with it. Like having five colorless lands makes Growth Spiral not that great. I also tried Shimmer again in the no peer list. Those were interesting. Yeah. So in front of you is a list that I'm pretty happy with. Zagoth Triumph makes the most sense if we're going to be running Masterminds and Peers in the main. Also Thought Distortion in the board. So Breeding Pool, an extra untap source. I've just felt a little bit behind recently, and one more untap source would be nice. I was trying two with no Triumph, but I ended up like having a number of games where I wish I could scrying for a cycle land. So I want the Triumph. The Triumph being blue and green for fixing, it means more to me than the ability to cycle for two, obviously. Um, Other than that, the main deck should look pretty stock. I know like it's probably a meme or something that I'm playing pure, but I'm willing to try different things out. In the board, you'll notice the board's changed quite a bit. I've decided that I'm done with cheesy one-offs. I'm not running Void Snare or Ugin or Omniscience. Like, you never actually need Omniscience to win. Anytime you can Omniscience, more than likely you have an approach win somewhere. And if not, you're probably in decent shape anyway. So we're running more actual sideboard cards like Tormod's Crypt for the Oops matchup or Wilts for Mono Green Walkers. Dispute is for five color Niftalite mostly and Sultai Rock because those decks have been in. We've seen an increase in what is it called? Notion Thief. There we go. Blanking on the word. And Mystical Dispute can help stop Notion Thief. It's also good against Omnath. So we're playing those. There's a tech card that I'm not playing today that I could be. And that's maybe I should play it. Alright, let's do it. This card kills Notion Thief, and you can search for it with your Sylvan Scrying. I've tried it in a few leagues, and it's been cute. I just don't know what I would cut for it, to be honest. Maybe Dispute number 3? Maybe something like that. Let's try that out. Because like I don't want to change the number of slots that I have for other matchups. Because if you add in Dunes, you're now and leave the fourth Mystical Dispute, you're having four and then 7 cards you're boarding in against blue decks, and that just seems a little ridiculous to me. So we'll try this out. But there's no Ugin, there's no Omniscience, there's no Void Snare. This list just cuts down on a lot of the cheesy one-ofs. And Grasping Dunes is a little bit cheesy, which is why I didn't put it in there originally. But Notion Thief has been popping up quite a bit. It's a very difficult card for us to beat. So, yeah, that's my take on the deck list. It's just like I'm carrying over my philosophy from Legacy, where if you have a card in your board and you don't use it very often, why is it there? Like, so you can feel good the 1 in 100 matchups that you do use it, or you can win more by adding in cards that you actually use more often and just accept those weird corner case losses in the future. And that's my philosophy for Legacy. I'm bringing it over to Pioneer. Hopefully it works out. And yeah, match number 1 will be coming up in just a second. Welcome to match number 1. We are on the draw. Don't really know what our opponent's playing, but I think this hand is just too clunky. Unfortunately, we need to ship this. This one's fine. Good draw. So I tested a number of lists without Fae of Wishes this week, as I mentioned. And one of the things that I missed about Fae was just that it's a 1/4 blocking body. Undo. Alright, deck, we've drawn enough lands. No more of that. There's Omnath. We could try to win this turn. I feel like it's a little risky, though. Alright, we're going to go for it. Pier's not bad. We need to live for Pier to be good, though, is the thing. I guess we get Acquisition. We're not winning this turn, so that dream's gone. So the best thing we can do is just like prepare for next turn. And I'm gonna go get some strings with this Mastermind's Acquisition. And honestly, that's like one of the beautiful things about Masterminds is that it can get it from the main deck as well. I feel like that mode isn't utilized enough by players. Hopefully we're not dead here. Pass the turn. Pass the turn. Now you play Uro, tapping the forest. Cobra attack pass. Alright, so it looks like we're going to get game one over Omnath. Let's find a Baral in here before we cast strings. Save some mana. Fae should be the first card in her hand. Oh, second. My bad. Get approach. Need to make a few more pieces of mana before we cast it. One of the cool things about this deck is that Baral plus Hidden Strings and Recovery is literally just Cabal Ritual. Cycle Vizier. And now these the pour over the pages will get us the rest of the way there. Each one is +2 mana. And this is just why you don't need Omniscience. Like, it's a little bit of a win more card, I think, at this point. Like, it does make winning easier, but is easier better? I don't know. Sweet. We have taken game one. I do like disputes. So something I've thought of that I haven't pulled the trigger on is boarding in Dunes over Blast Zone, because Dunes can kill a Lotus Cobra. I just don't know how good it is. And if you're boarding in Mystical Disputes, I think I like Shaving Plannings. I think everything else is a little too vital in this matchup. Go ahead and hit submit. And if you're not familiar with my content, make sure to check out the Eternal Glory podcast. It is myself, Bryant Cook, alongside Brian Koval and Philip Gallagher, where we primarily discuss Legacy. We are available on all major podcast platforms. I promise we're great. Go check us out. On the draw for game two, we will keep this. Really would have loved to have drawn a Grazer on turn one there. Vizier helps us assemble this combo faster, which is why I took it over like a planning or a dig there. I'm sorry, over a dig. We were casting planning. This is not a good sign for us. Pretty far behind right now. I just don't know if we're going to be able to get this one. I think if we draw another Hidden Strings next turn, we're close. I haven't figured out the math entirely yet. That's a pretty scary set of cards. So let's just talk this through. So I can cycle and then have 2 mana floating. I could cast Peer, but we're just dead. Like, I don't think there's any point in doing that. So I guess the best thing to do is cycle here and hope to hit another strings. Maybe Baral doesn't. I haven't quite figured that out yet. I think I'm just going to cast Planning and pass. So this is 6 mana and then 7 mana, cast Peer, but we're forced to pass the turn, and it's just not good enough. Well, if we somehow manage to get another turn, we'll be able to win, but I think we're dead here. Opponent had a lightning fast start. They have a known Genesis ultimatum that they're about to cast. They will be taking another turn after this one. And that's just lethal. Alright, game 3. I don't think I want to change anything. I'm going to leave it as is. And if you're interested in supporting this content, theepicStorm.com/shop. On the play for game 3. Yeah, let's do it. Sign me up. Our opponent is mulliganed. So as of right now, we're looking to scrying on turn 2 for another stage, because if you sacrifice stage, you need another one. So we have to go search that out. Well, now we don't have to do that. So now we can go get like a cycle land with this. I do like that playing Zagoth Triumph just puts it on the bottom. One thing that I always got nervous about with Ketra Triumph is that it's right next to Lotus Field. So I think I'm actually supposed to put Triumph into play here. Because next turn, Thespian Stage coming into play untapped, that extra mana might matter. We really want to draw like another Hidden Strings or something. Baral was an or something. Like, that's a really good draw. Yeah. I really don't want to pass the turn here. I should think this through. So let's say I untap. We're essentially trading hidden strings right now for Lotus Field being untapped. And then I can tap Lotus Field to copy, but then what? We'll have 1 mana floating then, and that doesn't do anything. I think I'm just forced to copy here. Please don't kill me, opponent. I wonder if I messed up playing Baral first. So while our opponent's probably killing us, I'm going to think about this. So let's say I don't play Baral. Let's say I just tap Lotus Field, copy Lotus Field. So now I can tap Charm to make 2 mana. I hidden strings untapping both fields. I can play Baral. No, okay. Well, our opponent passed, but so I can play Baral, and I now have 4 mana floating. I can Masterminds for strings, cast strings. I can. All right. So what would have happened is I could have cast Pier, but I would have had to pass. So that doesn't actually make a difference. And instead now we're just going to win. Because casting Pure and passing with exact enough mana isn't good anyway. And this should be good enough. Get approach. Strings. And now we can just cast Pores until we hit the approach. And each Pore is plus 2 mana. All right, and our opponent's conceded. That means that we're 1-0 to start this. Stay tuned for round number 2. This deck is great. That's all I really have to say. Welcome to round number 2. We are on the draw. We've opened up a reasonable hand, other than this double Peer into the Abyss, of course. But we have Lotus and 2 lands. Try this out. Temple of Triumph. That's interesting. So it might seem weird to keep a 7 with double Peer, but if this was a 6-card hand without Peer, I'd very quickly keep. So why not keep the 7 with the extra Peer? Temple Tribal. Narset's a good one. especially against her hand. So we do have the Blast Zone. We don't actually have that many ways to remove Narset, so the game plan is going to become find Blast Zone, blow up Blast Zone, if we have enough time. Another Narset. Well, that can find us Blast Zone. I think it just might be a little too slow, unfortunately. We'll find out. I think it's probably best to just get Blast Zone here and put it up to 3. Another Teferi. Gideon's kind of annoying. Actually, never mind. We have Blast Zone. It's fine. I'm just going to pass here. Okay, I was just trying to see how these two interacted. This is a cute play because now if they play another Narset, it's going to come back. Because I have to blow up this Gideon eventually. Oh, I messed up. Oh, because Gideon's indestructible. I fell for a dumb trick. Maybe I can still win. That was really dumb of me. Need one more mana. I think maybe we can still win this turn, so I don't mind going for it here. The key is to not play a land. Now we get back Blast Zone. This is certainly a spot where having an Ugin in the board would help, but I don't know if we actually need it. Now we cast Pour. Let's get back strings here to make some mana. Alright, so we have 12 cards left in our deck. I need to figure out how much mana we've actually used. So, 1 strings, 2 strings, 3 strings. So we still have strings in the deck. And I've used 1 pour. Is that correct? I've only used a single pour. 2 pours. 3 pours. So I have 1 pour, 1 strings. Alright, I'm gonna dig. Just want mana. Since those make mana, I'm putting them in the top. My opponent's like probably a little bit upset that I'm taking forever, but like this is a complicated turn. Baral is literally just Omniscience. I tweeted that a few days ago, but it's true. Alright, so I can cast Approach, but I'm a single mana short of casting Pour after. 1 strings, 2 strings, 3 strings. According to this, there's still 4 strings in the deck. There it is. This is kind of a cool win, right? I mean, it only took us like 10 minutes, but we got there. That was sweet. Alright, so I think I want the Niv. Grazers don't seem great. Those can go out. Do I want Thought Distortion? That I am unsure. Maybe something like that. I feel like these decks don't play a lot of permission, though. Let's see how game 2 goes without it. It's still a wish target at the moment. Yep. Keep. Understandable after last game. Our graveyard has been locked. I feel like I have plenty of mana here. I'm going to take the Pour. Alright, so they milled Fae. So Fae's win condition is gone. Still have Masterminds as a win con at the moment. Alright, so they took Fae of Wishes. Is this my window? Worried about them getting like Dampening Sphere with it. Hmm. Oh, they hit Masterminds. That's not good. Now we need to win with Niv Mizzet, and we only have 22 cards in deck. Hmm. It's going to be tough to win from here. Elspeth is a big issue. Because Elspeth kills Niv-Mizzet. Ashiok Dream Renderer. Yeah, I think we're just locked out of this game. Because I can't draw a card with the Niv, and then they play Elspeth and kill Niv. Yeah, let's just go to game 3. In case I need the time, I'd rather have it. Nope. This seems okay. Our opponent also mulliganed. We're getting stage. Might sound crazy, but I'm going to play Fae of Wishes here. Because if they play a Narset, it attacks Narset, and that's actually pretty important. And there's Narset. Gideon Tribal. So I think the Gideon's +1 here stops the damage from this. Yeah, it looks like it's prevented. Alright, so let's cast Planning. There's no point in attacking because they +1 and then prevented the Niv. It's not looking good for us. I think I'm supposed to just pass. I could have played Dig there. Um, I'm not going to though, or well, I chose not to. So my plan this turn is to hold up Mystical and then add counters onto Blast Zone. We're actually in a dangerous spot here because on their turn they can take our search our deck for a Niv Mizzet. Yeah, this is certainly a matchup where I would have liked having Ugin in the board. But I don't think that this is that common. Doing this in the upkeep so that way this doesn't make us discard an extra card. We are definitely in trouble. Sort of hoping our opponent messes up and casts an instant or sorcery before they try to use Jace. That's frustrating. Now they get to take our Niv. I don't know how we beat that. Are they switching their own deck? No, it's each player. So they're making us lose half our life. Did I miss something? I am not sure what just happened. Okay. We have 5 minutes to win the game. Oh, they're trying to deck us. Hmm. So how many hidden strings do we have left? Looks like a bunch. Another pour. I think that this is just deterministic, so why wouldn't I take this line? I'm going to get back hidden strings. Alright, so I know that this is a little risky, but we have 10 cards in deck. This is going to draw 4. Approach will be number 5. We'll still have 5 cards in deck. Maybe it's one more down. There's the approach. So their plan was to try to deck me with Niv in play. All right, that was exciting. We're 2-0. Sorry, that one was a really long match. 42 minutes. Wow. Welcome back. After that long match, I'm sure you needed a bathroom break. So did I. So round 3's up. We're on the play. This seems fine. Having Lotus plus lands is always good. Okay, so we have the lane combo. We're a little bit worried about speed, especially against burn. What? That's not a burn creature. Blast Zone tends to be pretty good against auras if they're on red-white auras. Another land. Really aggressive start for our opponent. What is that? Could still be dead here. Two cards in hand. It could be 4 damage, who knows. I think my plan for next turn, I mean, it changes based on our draw step, but it might be to play Vizier as a blocker. Alright, so we're going to 1 here, which means that the blocker plan no longer works. Hidden strings, come on. The perfect draw when you're at 1 life. I think we're probably dead. Yeah, this just won't do. Alright, game 2. That was a really aggressive draw. Let's bring in some wilts, slow him down a little bit. And if you would like to support this content, theepicstorm.com/shop. Game 2. I think it's just a little too risky. We're supposed to mulligan this. To 5. I've won on 5 before. Just need a little bit of luck. That's a really good start. So now we're looking for pure, not pure, poor. Didn't need a coast, but can't expect a great draw every draw step. It's a big stone coil. Come on, Doc, give me something good. So this is 12 coming in. Alright, this is our last draw step. That'll not do. We needed something that actually did something this turn, so unfortunately we have lost this one. A really fast matchup to make up for our last one. Let's see what our top card was. And that would have actually have won the game, because we could have gotten Pure there. Bummer. Alright, match number 4. We're on the draw this time. Okay. I think it's probably better to play Triumph on 1. This looks like Sultai Rock. Only gold lands in play. I thought about sacrificing the Triumph there, because in a pinch you could Balagad back the Triumph to cycle, but hopefully that doesn't happen. Alright, now let's do this again. It's like Baral never attacked at all. I'd like to draw an action spell here. Well, they drew something pretty good for them with this double Wilderness Wreck. Pier off the top would win us the game, assuming that it resolves. Pour would be phenomenal. I'd accept a dig through time. Planning would be okay. Anything that lets us see more cards, generally. I do not want a Sylvan Scrying. And even if I had sacrificed the Triome, I don't think I would have been able to get it back. Just because this is protection from a counterspell, essentially. And I don't want to burn that. So they kept the card on top. So that means that they definitely have at least something good. Okay, it's a start. What a dick. I didn't say that. They're a fine person. In case we get lucky off this, I want to leave a mana floating. Pour's good. And I'll take the planning. It'll be interesting to see what they scry to the top, if it was another counterspell or something better. Who knows? Alright, so it looks like it was a dig. Shark Typhoon. Ah, could have went for it there. Alright, Strings was a great draw. Because if this Pour gets countered, we can still continue to try to win this turn. Come on. All the mana. And they've had enough. Alright. Game 2. The Dunes! Don't really like Razor in this matchup that much. Dispute seems fine. Let's try this out. Looks like our opponent is mulliganed. Bummer. We don't actually need that, so I didn't mind playing it out instead of like giving them more time. I don't even know if I actually want that. I'm just going to pass here. If our opponent tries to use Castle Ventress here, which is what it looks like is going to happen, I'm going to cycle Vizier and then cast Egg. I didn't attack with Baral right there because of the chance of a Shark Typhoon if that wasn't obvious. Like, just chipping away for 1 damage doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. All right. That was a really good planning. I really wish that you know, wasn't a planning. Like if that was a result poor or something. All right, 3-1. The final round of the league. Run the play. Sure. Probably the planning, if I had to guess. Yeah. I'm just going to show them this. I'd rather get the quality from the scry. Strings is not a card we need at the moment. So it looks like black aggro. Still haven't drawn anything. Alright, so we're taking 5 this turn, going to 15. I think I'm just going to delve for the full graveyard, because if I draw a scrying, I want to be able to cast it, or something else. Scrying Pour is very good. Do they swing for 7 and force me to respect lethal? So it turns out this league we didn't face Oops. Oops won the showcase last weekend, and it put another in a top 8. So 2 out of the top 8 were Oops. And in my playing leagues throughout the week, I've actually run into it quite a bit. So I wanted Tormods, we didn't end up using them. Didn't miss Omniscience at all, by the way, at least yet. I don't think you actually need Omniscience anymore. I'm not sold on the Tormod scripts. Ugin we could have used against that one matchup, but in general, I've been happy without it. I do think that maybe if you're not running Ugin, you should run something else that deals with walkers. Because right now we're just like, we have nothing. So maybe that should change. What a good draw. Just some thoughts. Like, this list isn't perfect. I really like the main deck. The board could probably use some work. No Omniscience is definitely right. No Ugin, maybe. Wow. I think it's Vizier. It's crazy. Hmm. Get back Pour. Is Pour actually better than Dig? I think it might be better to just like go all in on this Dig. You know, I'm going to leave the Pour in case we like only hit Balageds or something. All right, so we've gotten game one, or at least I believe that we have. All right, our opponent's seen enough. I don't even know if I want to board those in. Probably not. Leave as is. Yep, try this out. Grazer would be a really good draw for us. Speed this hand up a little bit. Hopefully Baral will stonewall these creatures a little bit. Nope. Go get Blast Zone. Think you take the Baal again? Okay. So we're taking 6 here. That will put us down to 7. We might just be dead here. Alright, so we're going to 3. Another field isn't going to do it. So even, let's say we go 2 mana strings untap. I guess we could barely get back Baral. Game 3. Sure. Opponent is deciding if they're keeping their 7. And they've mulliganed to 6 and then quickly to 5 to 4. opponent's thinking. Probably take planning here. Or they just decided to concede. Okay. We got the 4-1, which is pretty cool. Let's look at the list one more time. So, I don't think we cycled Triome at all. But, I mean, it was fine. I didn't hate having 1-1. 3 brawls was obviously nuts. Look at that game where I punted because I wasn't paying attention, and then we still won anyway. Yeah. Peers were decent. Approach was great. We never needed Omniscience at all. Mystical was eh. Thought Distortion we used once and it was pretty effective. Didn't use Anger. Didn't need Wilt. Niv straight out won a match. Grasping Noons, we boarded it, but we didn't get to use it, and the Crypts were pretty useless. I'm really happy with the main deck 60. I'm open to suggestions on the sideboard. I don't think we need Omniscience. I don't know if we want Ugin or not. Maybe it's like Hour of Revelation or something. Maybe Ugin's better. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.